everyone. I'm John Miglash for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Okay, a lot to cover today, so let's dig in. Country Time offers to pay fines for kids operating unlicensed lemonade stands. I saw this a year ago. And the deal is basically only 14 states is it legal to have an unlicensed lemonade stand. So if you're outside those states, which Wisconsin is, and you want to have a lemonade stand. My kids did raspberry stands, and I remember them picking for hours and getting a couple of little bowls of black raspberries, which you can't buy hardly. I don't think I've ever seen them for sale. And they said, "What should we charge?" And I said, "I don't know, $3.50 a bucket." And I went to the hardware store. We set up a table out by the road, and I thought, and nobody was stopping. I went to the hardware store. I thought, well, it's a good character building lesson for the kids. And I came back, 20 minutes later. They were all sold. I said, we got to raise the price. Really, Dad? Yeah, we got to raise the price. It's too much demand, not enough supply. By the end, my daughter was hiring the neighbor kids to pick, giving them a share of the money. She took us to Great America, bought us lunch and dinner. Unbelievable. Anyway, it's a good experience. When I was going to run this story, when I think it's Chuck asked how to teach direct marketing. First, teach the basics. Anyway, you just upload a picture of your kid's permit or fine. It's only up to $300, so I'd recommend you get the permit and get reimbursed, and then you could use real lemons even, but up to $300. But that's the way you teach your kids. Let them go out to the street and start trying to sell something. It's great. And my daughter's been great in marketing ever since. Okay, big news. REI shelves catalog in favor of print magazine. REI is discontinuing its print mail order catalog and debuting a magazine called The Uncommon Path. Basically, they said, gee, that catalog is expensive and we can charge for the magazine, and maybe it'll work and maybe it won't. I'm kind of neutral on this because I've had people with compelling stories that I've switched, gradually increased the editorial content. I think people tend to, when you're going with square inch analysis, you tend to overthink that, the value of your each item, and you forget about the overall brand. But this article does mention, thank you, Joe Keenan, for mentioning Nordstrom's, and J. Jill also had a similar issue where they stopped its direct mail use and sales went down the drain. I would recommend, I actually wrote to somebody at REI today. So if you know anybody at REI, I've got some ideas on how to make a Magalog work, and in fact, I'm already concerned because it's going to be a mix of editorial features and print ads. I think that's a mistake. I think that's not the way to do it. And, you've probably already done your first issue, so we'll have a benchmark of catastrophe. And let's talk, okay? And I'll write to more people at REI because I have like 1,200 second level connections there. Okay, this is an article I've been sort of sitting on for a couple of weeks. It was not written by Gene Bliss. Customer think you got to fix that the Firefox button changes the author on your pieces. I don't know why it does it for you, but you guys, I'm always attributing it to the wrong person. It's terrible. Okay, so this is a great article because it's about cancellations, and you think customer experience would be best when cancellation is easy, but down here it's like I mentioned I was thinking about canceling my service, and before I could say anything else, the agent canceled my account. They didn't even try to retain me, or move me to a less expensive plan. I called my cable company because they're advertising a $50, 250 megabits per second high-speed internet. I'm paying $250 for a 50-bit interface. So just 50, I get 50 Mbps, and and I pay $250 for it, and they offer one for $50 that I would get 250 megabits per second. Well, I called them up and they said, you can't get that one. That one's only for new customers. I said, can I cancel? They said, yes, but you have to leave it off for 6 months or something. And it was just so hilarious. What your customer service is doing to you, you have no idea. I highly recommend you order and cancel from your own company. But this was an interesting. This is the problem that we get as marketers. We think because this is the right answer for this test, that this is the right answer for the company. And you got to think about the cost of acquiring new customers to replace the ones that leave. If you make it seamless to leave, maybe you don't want a 100% guarantee. We had an imprinted merchandise catalog. It's the stuff that you put your name on, whatever it is. And the customer service people said, we got to change that guarantee. And I said, you can't. Everybody, in direct response has a 100% guarantee. They said, well, one company called and said, hey, we didn't mean to order 500 of these Tootsie Rolls, imprinted Tootsie Rolls. The secretary made a mistake, and we'd like our money back. Okay, well, that was kind of a toughie, since she ordered it and went through the whole process. She thought she was just getting a bag or a handful. Anyway, and then the bill came. That was in the days when we used to send a bill. Another one, we'd often get people spell their own name wrong. On the item itself, they would spell the name wrong. And it's like, what planet are you on? And then they'd say, well, you say we can return them for any reason. So anyway, we basically put that the imprint was the responsibility, and we would send them a proof. So sometimes it's better to put up a little resistance. It's not fair to your good customers to let people abuse your regular customers. I had a friend who used to order from Land's End, and he'd wear a shirt out, for years, and then he'd send it back and get a new one. Well, that's not fair to your real customers. Well, that guy's not a customer, and you shouldn't allow that kind of stuff. And I mean, maybe once or twice, but not on a regular basis. So keep track of returns. And in our modeling process, we do that. We keep track of returns in order to ferret out this kind of fraud and theft from your good customers. Okay. Also, you want to know what the reason is. So LinkedIn sent me, try the premium service, and I forgot, and I was going to cancel it on Friday. And on Saturday, I got the email, we're going to charge you an extra $62. And so I went in to cancel it, and then they said, well, we really hope you enjoy the next month because we're not going to give you your money back, for heaven's sakes. Yeah, well, stick it. That made me mad. Anyway, so think about what your customers are trying to accomplish. There may be a middle ground. Maybe you can give them that better service. Oh, yeah, they told me they could give me the better service, but I had to pay $270 a month instead of the $250 I was paying. So for a mere $20, I can get 5 times faster service. Yes, but I can't get it for $50. No. Anyway, so I just had to show this, and I know Scott, I'll send you a note that I mentioned you again in my show. It looks like you have a bad case of jargon poisoning. I'll write you a prescription for jargon canceling headphones. They translate jargon to normal words. Let's stay in our swim lane while the Tiger teams get buy-in on the verticals. The headphones say nothing, nothing, nothing. And well, too often these articles are full of that, and I couldn't figure this one out. Every interaction matters from George Butler. George, I'm not going to tell you I mentioned you, but I couldn't make a heads or tails of this thing. You said you need your audiences to believe in your business because 59% of Brits say they'll stop using a brand they don't believe in. How about if they need your product? I buy from a lot of people I don't believe in because I need what they got. And conversely, no matter what Avon or Playtex believes in, I don't need their product. So it's not as simple as that. Negation does not equal affirmation. So your logic is bad right off the bat. How to get it right? You don't have to go bespoke. Pattern libraries like D3 can do the basics. Okay, so what does that even mean? I had to look up what bespoke meant in advertising jargon. I actually put it in Google Translate, but it didn't come up with anything. It turns out bespoke means to the person. It means custom made, tailor made in Old English. And so George, good Lord. Anyway, yeah, let's get a robot to do it. So if the transactions really matter, let's use a robot. And of course, the problem is not every transaction does matter. Here's an article about how if you accidentally put your ad in mobile apps, you might get kids in game playing who try to close your ad and get a click through instead. I have done that myself. It's hard to shut those ads down in an app. And so, excellent point. If you're not trying to reach kids playing games on apps, not all clicks lead to the promise of a conversion. That's my message to George. Not everything is meaningful. Not every transaction matters. Some transactions are a mistake. Some transactions are because I hate your brand, but it's the only place I can get what I want. Let's get real. Thanks, Phil. Great point. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA. Don't forget the print event, first week of August in Minneapolis. I'll be there. We got a lot of great people coming. Have a great day.